Now that we have practiced and studied several methods to solving linear systems of equations, we are going to apply those methods in using systems of equations to solve word problems. So I want you to recall our 5-step plan that we've already written down in our notes. Step 1 is read the problem. Step 2 is write a let statement. This is where we identify what the variable represents. Step 3 is write an equation, or for systems, write more than one equation sometimes. And then solve the equation or systems of equations and write your answer as a sentence. Number 1. Tegan and Sophie have a combined age of 30. Tegan is 3 years younger than twice Sophie's age. How old is Tegan? So we have two different people going on. We don't know either of their age. So we need two different variables here. We will let X represent Sophie's age and we'll let Y represent Tegan's age. Now, another hint for when you're writing your let statement, whatever they're asking you to find, that's what your variables are going to be. Now let's go back. And in this first sentence, it says Tegan and Sophie have a combined age of 30. Combined means we're adding their ages together. So Sophie's age plus Tegan's age equals 30. So this is our first equation. The next equation comes from the next sentence. Tegan is 3 years younger than twice Sophie's age. All right, so Tegan's age, we would use y to represent that. When we see is, we'd put an equal sign. 3 years younger than twice Sophie's age. When you see the word than, you flip the order. So we would write twice Sophie's age first and then the minus 3. So Tegan's age is twice Sophie's age minus 3. Now that we have our system of equations, we can solve it. The bottom equation is solve for y. So the most efficient method would be substitution. So if y equals 2x minus 3, I can take the 2x minus 3 and substitute it for y in that first equation. Then I would combine like terms, or x plus 2x combined to give us 3x. And then to isolate the x, I would add 3 to both sides. And then divide both sides by 3. So that gives us x is 11. But remember, x represented Sophie's age. And the question is, how old is Tegan? So I would take 11 and substitute that in for x in that second equation. So because Tegan is 3 less than twice Sophie's age, so take 2 times 11 to get 22, and then subtract 3 and we get 19. And then remember that the last step is to answer as a sentence. Tegan is 19 years old and Sophie is 11 years old. Number 2, the sum of two numbers is 7. The larger number is 16 more than 2 times the smaller number. What are the numbers? So we're asked to find two different numbers. Let's let x equal the smaller number and let y equal the larger number. If their sum is 7, that first equation would be then x plus y equals 7. The larger number, which is 7, is 16 more than 2 times the smaller number. So we would write that when you see than, you switch the order. So we did 2 times the smaller number and then the plus 6. Solving by substitution, we can substitute that 2x plus 16 for y in the first equation. Combine like terms, our x plus 2x combined to give us 3x. Subtract 16 from both sides. And then divide both sides by 3. Now that we have x equals negative 3, we know the smaller number. So to find the larger number, I would substitute negative 3 for x in that bottom equation. 2 times negative 3 gives us negative 6, and then add 16, we get 10. The smaller number is negative 3, and the larger number is 10. Number 3. Sierra works as a hostess where she makes $8.75 per hour. She also babysits and earns $10 per hour. Last week, she made a total of $165 from both jobs. All right, so just that first sentence, first of all, we're given a rate, two different rates, a per, and then a total. So remember, anytime you're given two rates and the total, that means you'll be writing an equation in standard form. All right, The next sentence says if she works 6 hours more as a hostess than she did babysitting, how many hours did she babysit last week? So we have two different jobs going on. So we can let X be the hours babysitting and Y be the hours hostessing. So that translate that first sentence, the first two sentences into an equation would be 10x plus 875y equals 165 because she earns $10 per hour babysitting and X is the hours babysitting, 10 times X, plus 875 per hour hostessing. Y is the number of hours hostessing. That would give us her total. The next part is that she worked 6 more hours as a hostess than babysitting. So Y is 6 more hours than X. So to write that, it would be Y equals X plus 6. So if hours hostessing was 6 more, we'd have to add 6 to the babysitting to make them equal. Solve by substitution because this bottom equation is solved for Y, so I can take the X plus 6 and substitute it for Y in that top equation. Next, we would distribute the 875, and then we would combine like terms. 10x plus 875x combines to give us 1875x. Now we work on isolating x. We would subtract 52.5 from both sides, and then divide both sides by 18.75. So we get x equals 6, and remember, x represented hours babysitting. The question is, how many hours did she babysit last week? So then we can figure out also how many hours she spent hostessing by adding 6 to that. We'd say Sierra spent 6 hours babysitting and 12 hours as a hostess. Number 4, the Wax family bought 2 child movie tickets and 2 adult movie tickets and paid $36.50. So it's like 2 different rates and the total. The Phillips family bought 5 child and 2 adult movie tickets and paid $60.50. So how much does a child movie ticket cost? So let's let X equal the cost of a child movie ticket, and Y is the cost of an adult movie ticket. So for the Wax family, they did 2 children's tickets plus 2 adult tickets to equal $36.50. And then for the Phillips family, that would be 5X plus 2Y equals $60.50. This equation or this system, I would solve using elimination because both equations are in standard form. So if this is a positive 2y on that bottom, I'd want the top one to be negative 2y. So I'm going to multiply that equation by negative 1. So the new equation would be negative 2x minus 2y equals negative 36.5. So everything became negative. And then the bottom equation, we'll just keep it the same. Then we can add these equations together. Negative 2x plus 5x gives us 3x. Negative 36.50 plus 60.50 is 24. Dividing both sides by 3, we get x equals 8. So a child movie ticket costs $8.